guys, this is Krishna. Thank you for joining me today. What I want to cover with you is basically what is the best server provider on Cloudways. Those kind of questions, usually the answer is it depends because it really depends. On Cloudways, from my experience, what provider is going to work for you is going to be depending on your pricing, how much you are able to spend, right? Number one, the location of the server. So depending on the service provider, they have different locations, and if you have your customers in a certain region, you would like to have the server located there, right? So it's a lot it's going to be a lot faster for your client or customers to access your application or your website, right? So that would be the other thing to take into account. And the last thing will be the power that you need and the ability to scale as well, right? So over here, I am on one of the Cloudways pages for pricing, where I'm looking at the different providers here. And basically, if we want to segment those provider very quickly, we just have to draw a big line over here, right? And we have DigitalOcean, Linode, and Vulture. Those ones, the price is going to be a lot more accessible. Right? It's really affordable, I mean, in my opinion, right? With about $10, $12, right? You're able to have a server launch really quickly and have several applications on that, right? So if pricing is an issue, is the most important factor for you, then I will look at DigitalOcean, Linode, or Virtual, right? And you can always upgrade the server, based on the power that you need. The other point that I was discussing was the location. So if you look over here, when I click on those over here, it's gonna list over here um, some data center cities where they have data centers, right? So depending on where you want the application to be accessed or the website to be accessed, this is something that you're going to look at. And the thing to keep in mind is, again, when we draw the line over here, AWS and Google Cloud in general are going to have a lot more location for the data center compared to digital Linode and virtual. But virtual actually does have quite a good list over here. But you're gonna see that AWS data centers and Google data centers are actually a lot more compared to if I come up here, I'm looking at DigitalOcean, right? So we looked at price, right? And like I say, if your price is an issue for you, this is what you're gonna look at. Really quickly, I think I forgot to mention pricing for AWS and Google Cloud. It's actually you're gonna need to pay up a little bit more, cough up a little bit more. Not a little bit more, a lot more, right? So let's just say like this. So you're gonna see over here, it's starting at about $10 for DigitalOcean, virtual as well, about $13. But when we jump in here, it's about we are at $36 over here, and it goes a lot more. So one of the highest plan, just on this one over here, this is not like the highest, just depending on. I mean, because with AWS and Google Cloud, it all depends on the resources that you're using, right? And the bandwidth and the visitor that you have as well. So you could be paying a lot more than 274 over here. If I go over here, you're gonna see that we have about $100 over here for virtual as the highest one. So yeah, so with AWS and Google Cloud, you're gonna be paying more. So we looked at the pricing. We look at the the data center, the location for the data centers, and the last point is gonna be the power. Okay, with again we're gonna with our lines that we drew here at the very beginning, DigitalOcean, Lina, and Virtual, you actually get quite a bit of decent specs over here, right? So 8 gigabyte of RAM, 3 cores, 256 gigabyte of storage, and 4 terabyte for bandwidth. That is actually really really good, right? For a price of $100 a month. The same spec, if you had to have it in AWS and Google Cloud, is just gonna be way more than that. I don't even think they have like something. Yeah, so over here the highest that they have is about 4 CPU. You can actually configure when you're actually setting up your server inside of Cloudways. You actually have more options than what is showing up here. But that's the thing. So uh, the config, if you want a config at a decent price, you're gonna go with Vultr. But if you really the good thing with AWS and Google Cloud, where you're gonna select them is really if you know that your application is critical, right? You want to have it available more than 24/7. The other ones, that's why I never had a problem with any one of them. But if you know what you like, even 1 second, 1 second of an issue is a lot for us. This is where you go with AWS and Google Cloud, right? So they're really reliable. And as well, if you know that it's critical, maybe you add an add on the Super Bowl, and a lot of people are gonna come to your website. This is where you could have something like AWS and Google Cloud. The other thing as well is if you maybe you have promotion, you're doing like different promotions, and sometimes do your traffic peak, and then it kind of died down a little bit. This is where it's going to be easy for you if you decide to go with AWS and Google Cloud. It's going to be easy for you to scale it pretty easily, and to scale it up and to scale it down as well, very easily. It's a little bit more difficult with the other three. You could scale it, but to scale it down, you need to go through a little bit of a lengthy process to do that. So it's not as user friendly, I would say. Maybe they're gonna work on another feature on something like this in the future, like something that's gonna make it easy to scale down. But at the moment, that's not the case. So just to resume, if you're looking, you want something uh, with where the pricing is affordable, I will go with DigitalOcean Lino Adventure, right? If you want something that has a little bit more options for location for data center, then you want to look at AWS and Google Cloud. Even though the outlier here, there is one Virtual actually has some good option there, right? And the last one, if you're looking for reliability, immense power, scaling down, scaling up, again, I will look at AWS and Google Cloud. If you just want to have an application there, you don't have a lot of traffic, then again, I will look at DigitalOcean in that virtual. So the best server provider really depends on your needs, right? And the needs of your application. It could always change in the future. One thing that is good with Cloudways, it's not because you started an application in DigitalOcean that your application needs to stay in DigitalOcean forever, right? You can start with DigitalOcean, and you can, if you feel like your needs have changed, you want to move to Vultr, you could do that. If you feel your needs have changed again, you want to move to AWS or Google Cloud, you could do that as well. So that's what I just want to cover with you. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will come back with another video next time. Thank you.